Hello and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. I am your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I am joined by the founder of the Neca Illuminati, the YouTube wife, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, the man who just sneezes through my intro, Jarmar underscore games. But that's not all. I'm also joined by the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over. The man Optimus Prime popped and he still can't stop. The Twilight Knight, Nate. How you guys doing this week?
Excellent.
I mean, I just want to point out that you said that I sneezed during your intro
As I
as you
coughed.
coughed through your own intro.
Well, as I started to say it, I inhaled and I inhaled a bunch of spit and then choked on it. So it was just real terrible
Wow.
timing.
Well, make sure you swallow that next time.
Yeah, swallow instead of choke. Always the good
yeah.
choice.
Yeah, they're doing great, doing good. How have you been, Nate? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Didn't
It's
we
been a
do
week.
something last week? It's been a week.
I thought there was a
It's been
joke like
week's
you
a
guys
long
saw.
time.
I thought maybe you guys saw each other IRL like over the weekend or something. Like you
Oh.
brought him a toy or something,
Yeah.
and this was
No,
a
a
joke.
week's a long time. That's a long time.
Yeah, I guess it's been a long time.
Yeah,
Been a long
I
time.
talked
I mean,
to Michael.
Technically speaking, yeah, me and him play
Video
games and
games,
stuff
so.
in between, so
Yeah,
he doesn't miss me.
Yeah. Yeah,
not at all.
The heart
I
does not
missed you
grow
both
founder.
terribly. My
Uh,
heart grows 3 times too big.
On
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
Well, just before Wednesdays,
Oh, just before Wednesdays. Okay.
because I've missed you so.
See, for
Um,
me, like something else grows 3 times too big on Wednesdays.
The
Man.
amount of money you spent on figures.
Exactly. The pile on my desk that I now have to try to record over because we're doing this before weekly purchases for a change. Anyway, so this week we're going to be talking about some controversies that took place last week and got the internet's panties all up in a bunch. First, we are going to talk about the Connect Collector and Haulathon. So, real quick explanation for anyone who didn't see it, because the video has now been deleted. I'm assuming because the poor Connect Collector was getting harassed nonstop, and people were saying very terrible things about his mother. He posted a video for Haulathon. For some context, his gimmick is that he lives in his mom's basement. She yells down at him while he's recording and stuff like that. So he is decked out. He's in a Ninja Turtle onesie. He's got a bunch of Ninja Turtle merch everywhere, and he's just promoting, all the Ninja Turtle stuff that's gonna be that Haulathon. To which at one point his mother yells downstairs at him, quote unquote, and then they bicker for a second, and then he gets back to business. And I don't know if this triggered all of the hate, but it definitely didn't help coming from someone with such a following. No, nothing against him, but Pixel Dan quote tweeted this thing saying that it essentially missed the mark and they should know who their consumer base is, and it was in poor taste. And next thing you know, Twitter is just all up in arms, like it always is anyway, and attacking this poor Canadian collector, all because his gimmick is that his mom makes fun of him. So I've got a very long explanation of how I feel and what I think this how this unraveled, but I want to get your guys' kind of thoughts on it because you both somehow missed it, which I'm very impressed with.
Well, I mean, partly because of what else we're going to talk about. That kind of seemed to overshadow this for me. But I'll give you like just my straight up initial reaction, take two, because behind the scenes you kind of get filters in a little bit beforehand. But initially when you were explaining it, I thought, oh no, the mom yelled something like racist,
Derogatory.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
and I was
exactly
like,
what I-
oh no. Oh,
I mean, they are
no, the
Canadians,
mom.
so you never know. They have a little less PC up there. Like,
Yeah. So, but then I guess because I had that expectation, when you actually told me that the anger and was behind the fact that that was his gimmick of being.
Yeah,
like,
the whole problem
I'm
people
assuming that's what
had
it is. Like,
is solely
he's a
that
basement
people
nerd.
felt that they were being depicted as basement dwellers who live with their mother, and that's the only way you could be a collector, is how they took it.
Okay, yeah, that kind of hit, like, softened the blow for me. Would I have initially been angry about this? No, I mean, from my explanation, I mean, with a podcast that was extremely popular, I mean, people tell me all the time I should bring it back. No, it's on the internet. It's very hard to make a lane for yourself. So you have to have a gimmick. You have to have like that kind of thing that sets you uniquely. And I never heard of this person, and it sounds like a great little stick to, like, my mom's yelling at me in the basement while I'm doing toy reviews or something. Like, that's a cool idea. So, like, to have anger for something that he's just kind of being creative with, I don't. I mean, unless it's, we would have to watch more of his content. But as long as he's not like doing it in a say where like he's mocking the toy collecting community, but it sounds like if he's getting merchandise from Haulathon, that he seems to be like a reputable, like, content creator, right?
Well, the thing that's weird to me is he didn't have Twitter before Haulathon. So, like, he apparently didn't have a big social media presence, but he must have at least had enough presence on YouTube and other platforms that they picked him.
Yeah.
So it, like, it kind of caught me off guard because I'd never heard of him until Haulathon.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how I kind of looked at it as. Is I'm obviously not upset about that. I feel like there's more important things to be angry at NECA for versus
there's a laundry list of reasons to be angry at NECA, and
then,
Canuck Collector is not
more
one of
like
them.
Content creator. But yeah, I'm curious what you think, Nate.
Yeah, as the resident person who is actively in their basement right now, how do you feel about this?
Right. Yeah, I'm just not at my mom's. So, couple of things. It doesn't sound like that NECA did a very good job, I think, of preparing people with this information. Maybe possibly, hey, you should check out the Canuck Collector, special announcement coming soon or something like that. Maybe to get people over there to get familiar with his content. Neither one of you had heard of him. I had never heard of him. I think the gimmick is fun. I do. I think that, just like Jarmar said, you got to pick a lane for yourself. You have to find that niche and do that. And that seems very, fun. But I also can see why maybe people who then were unfamiliar with his stuff and is watching it and seeing that it's somehow I don't know if it's sponsored by NECA or if it was just.
It's sponsored by Haulathon. There was no NECA logos. There was no mention of NECA. It was 100% Haulathon, which is.
So does that include
I'll get in
Target?
Yes.
Right. That's it.
Because Haulathon is. I'll get more into that here in a minute once you get a chance to go. But yes, Haulathon is sponsored by Target. It is their event.
Okay. So Target could have done a better job of that. So I think picking someone who maybe I don't know. Do we know what kind of followers he has? Because, like, I do follow Pixel Dan. I do follow Shartimus Prime, as we'll get to in a little bit later. These are people that I am aware of and that I do know. So I didn't see anything on Twitter from Pixel Dan about this, or I probably would have been able to catch it a little bit earlier. But I get where he's coming from. And if he's not familiar, and I don't know that he is or isn't, I feel like he's also not familiar with this, or he would have been like, hey, check out this, fellow content creator, that sort of thing, because he's upfront about other people that he knows and works with and things like that. So I sort of get it from his perspective, though, as well. I didn't see the video, but again, if it's something like that perpetuates that stereotype, I can understand where a feeling of negativity could come from. Also, it's a place of ignorance because you don't know his thing. That this is a common thing for him, as we would now find out later, but at the time would not know. So I sort of get it. I don't want to blame the guy because it's not his fault. I think the information could have been presented better before we put this poor guy under a spotlight here and now maybe his brand is viewed in a negative manner when it really shouldn't be, when it should be kind of more like, oh, hey, this is really cool and creative, and people watched that kind of stuff for 8-9 years on The Big Bang Theory and didn't seem to have a problem. But there's that. But so I'll be in the middle, I guess, understanding where Pixel Dan is coming from, but also understanding the origins as well, and how part of the problem there is on social media and such like that, and even within this industry or this community, we have to pick a side and get agitated at something very, very quick.
Oh yeah,
and so
that's the world.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Just we'll obviously let you give us more information. This is probably an answer that you have. Was he the only one that had like a haulathon, like sponsored kind
question.
of thing? Because that makes me. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your question.
I just say that makes me. I don't know, like Pixel Dan's content and stuff. Again, I'm like the ancillary toy collector. This is like one of the 3 or 4 things that I have interest hobby wise. So like I know him because of you guys and other friends, but this isn't like a thing of like animosity or like jealousy or anything like that he may have read this and viewed it wrong and shared it out of like, why did he get sponsored versus me kind of thing, or I'm just throwing it out there.
Pixel Dan doesn't seem like the petty type, because he's doing well for himself. He's written books about Motu that Nate's like brought up.
He's doing a turtle one, so you'll have a book of his probably within the next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like he's doing well. He doesn't need to be like, oh fuck that.
He's also got a pretty good relationship with NECA as it is.
Yeah, he got to do the interview for the Secret of the Ooze figures again.
Yeah. I definitely don't think it comes from anything of a place of malice. I think he just was sort of offended by it, and like I said, I get it. Maybe even not him directly, but just because of the stereotype or the the perpetuation that goes on. So I think that's one of those cartoonish stereotypes at this point.
Which, I mean, if you watched this video, like if it still existed, it was very like very, very cheesy. It wasn't done like, it wasn't like this where we're serious professionals or anything. It was it was meant to be like a joke. He was his character isn't meant to be like this serious guy who's gonna be talking about the world events. He's supposed to be like just having fun and talking about toys and stuff. So one thing I do want to point out, I'm pretty sure this poor man got bullied off the internet, because I was gonna go try to see what his followership was. Can't find his Twitter anymore, can't find his Instagram anymore, and I can't find his YouTube. So I think he may have just deleted it all and stopped, because even Haulathon, who had posted like stuff like promoting like, hey, he's gonna be having an announcement later today or whatever, that's all gone. So I can't find him at all anymore. Which in that case, shame on you, internet. Shame on you. You should feel bad.
Yeah, really.
And
I don't want to harp on this because I would like to get more information, but that's where I kind of get bugged and bothered by it, just because if he's a small content creator, I just put myself in that position of, this is the thing I do, this is the thing I'm passionate about, and I do something and I feel like I have a great opportunity, and then when you put it out there, you're just met with like so much negativity that seems like kind of like a really, really shitty thing, where it wasn't deserve it. It was, wasn't at all. It just bugs me a little bit, and I'm not in any kind of way, because I don't know if we're ever gonna like interview Pixel Dan or anything. And
I mean, like, nope, again, he's no animosity against Pixel Dan. He's a great dude. Otherwise,
I just say that's where this is just more of a deeper commentary on how we should handle like news in general. We're so quick to like, oh, we see this thing, oh yeah, this isn't great, and then we share it with like our extra additive to it, and now it creates could create this whole situation. That's just a responsibility on just us as a general like user.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and I agree
the information, because I wonder if that had a little bit more to do with it. Everyone's like has their fandom for a specific content creator or whatnot. So not everyone's
Right.
as level-headed as we are, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what happens when you aren't doing well.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
just
think of things with less emotion involved.
yeah, when no one's paying attention to you. In
Yeah,
your
when
corner of the
when no one
internet.
watches your content, you can't inspire people to go and bully people off the internet. It's simple as that.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just weird. It bugs me, But I mean, I like to know more content or context to the
Okay,
situation.
so it's context time. So strap in. This is gonna be a long one.
Uh-oh.
The first thing I want to address is the Pixel Dan situation of this.
Mhm.
Again, I have no problems with Pixel Dan. I hope one day he'll be on Toy Therapy. My only problem with how intertwined he is in the industry. He should know better. That he should know this was not a NECA call. And I say that for this reason. Haulathon, Target Con, all of that stuff, Collector Con, are the retailer events. Collector Con is Walmart, Target Con obviously is Target, and Haulathon is Target. As we discussed on last week's episode about exclusives, these events are just like those exclusive figures. They are at the request of the retailer. The retailer says, hey,
Yep.
I want to have a special event with a bunch of cool shit to get people in my doors. What you got? And that's when they work with NECA or whoever to make it happen. At which point, Pixel Dan should know, if anything, this was not a NECA call. This was a Target call. Because retailers don't fucking care about collectors. And if you think they do, you are in a hole that I wish I could join you in, because that it's not true. They only care
It's
about when it
It's
comes
creamy in that hole. I'm just saying. Weird.
They are, when they're making their marketing and they're spending this budget, their goal is to get the average person interested. What did the average person like for 10, 12 years, however long it ran? Big Bang Theory. It was fun. A few people had problems with it because they were like, I don't like being pointed or made in this negative light. Who gives a shit? It's a show. Like, it's a TV show. It's not like yes, Nate, I see that you don't like it. I look at it as like there's tons of stuff to watch nowadays between streaming services and TV shows that if you don't like it, turn the channel. Simple as that. Unless it's doing actual harm and intentionally being hateful, that's a different situation. Big Bang Theory was just showing nerds off in a funny way to the average person. And that's what this was. This was Target trying to reach that common person who might not be a collector, or if they are, they're a casual collector. They do one or two things if they see it's cool. Would you like to say something?
I am going to interject for a moment, but I just want to say I do not like the show. I did exactly that. I turned the channel. I watched something else.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brings it up. Hey, do you watch it? I do not. I don't go on about it. They're like, I don't care. I don't get into things because I do exactly that. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I move on.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to point that out.
Okay, I'm glad that you didn't get hate in the comments. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but we will, however, launch our podcast within a podcast of why Big Bang Theory is
the Big Bang Dump.
Suspect.
Yeah,
the Big Bang Dump podcast.
I have thoughts too, but
so anyway, yeah. So Target isn't going to do some really cool fucking shit for collectors. They're going to do something that Joe Schmo is going to see and be like, oh, that's funny. Oh, they have turtle stuff. I love turtle stuff. And maybe I'll go to Target and see if they have anything. Joke's on them, they don't, because their fucking stocking ability is subpar at best. So another thing, I actually had a conversation with someone on Twitter about this for a while, where we were debating it, and I was trying to explain these points that if you look at the way NECA advertises their product versus the way this was done, you 100% can tell it was not NECA, because now they've course corrected and all of the Haulathon stuff is NECA's stop motion stuff. When they announced Black Noir for the boys was coming to Haulathon, it was done in the NECA stop motion instead of using all of the other stuff that Target had been doing. So that tells me 100% that I'm right, that NECA was not the one who chose Canuck Collector. It was Target. They saw some dude who was that funny Big Bang stereotype, and they're like, this will be great. Yeah, they are not understanding who this event's for, But again, Target doesn't give a shit about any of it. They just want people to walk in the door and walk out with more things than they would have. Same reason why they do exclusives. Because if I go in to get disappointed when they don't have my exclusive, I might walk out with a bar of soap or something. Who knows? Yes.
I can concur. That works. Every time we go, if I don't get anything, I get even more upset because my wife just spent more money at Target and I still didn't get anything. So yes, it is working. It is working.
So this was not a NECA call. And I feel like, back to the point, of all the people in content create, like toy content creators who should have known this, it should have been Pixel Dan. So maybe he saw it, he got a little emotional and jumped the gun. If he did, it is what it is. We all make mistakes. We're all human. But especially when you have that big of a following, I feel like you have to be a little more careful and take a few more seconds before you just start typing on Twitter. Another thing someone pointed out on Twitter that actually makes a lot more sense too is when they first started doing the Haulathon, like promo stuff before like March, it used the guy from Double Dare, which also tells me that Nickelodeon may have been involved in the promotion of this, especially if it involved turtles.
Like the old school, like Mark Summers.
I don't know who it was. I think it was from the new show. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure it was from the new show. Because they have the new Double Dare.
That's sad. Yeah, I feel like I would have saw that if it was Mark Summers.
Yeah, pretty sure it's the new dude, but he like was doing the like kind of tease stuff before, so that also tells me, okay, Nickelodeon had their hand in this. So if you've got NECA, who's dark, gritty, and retro, and then you've got Nickelodeon, who's a kids show, and you've got Target, who is gonna only care about the everyman, not about the collector. Who do you think ran this whole thing? So that's my thing, is people are blowing this way out of proportion.
Absolutely.
They need to learn to take a joke. It's fine because everyone is always like, oh, everyone's snowflakes. Well, this is just an example that like right there, like if we can't fucking laugh at the fact at something stupid like this, we're gonna get offended and get our panties up in a bunch, then we really are no better than the stereotype that's being projected.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So
and then, I mean, also you could be upset about the fact that most of the stuff you wanted you couldn't get.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be upset at anything, like if you want to blame NECA for something, blame them for the fact that each Target got two of each of the new items instead of like having shelves full, which also could be a Target thing. They could have just been piece of shit, not ordered enough. But then also be mad at Target for not fucking stocking it. So.
Well, isn't Haulathon supposed to start this past weekend?
So originally they said, originally they said March 18th Haulathon starts, end caps start popping up all month long, in some places more than others, and then they're already like on week 2 and 3 in some places. So it's like, when the fuck did this start?
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, I just say that it's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you say corporations are mindless or heartless. I guess they have minds. Heartless,
that's questionable too sometimes.
Just want your money, but it is weird that like I was actually kind of excited, like, oh, this is a neat idea to have this event in stores. And I think I recall one of my main things was like, as long as they are educating the employees, so they kind of have an expectation, and it seems like they just.
Considering a lot of stores didn't even know that they were supposed to put it out, and it wasn't the entertainment rep's job. I have to assume.
Yeah,
that was not the case.
Exactly. Get your stuff together, Target.
Target, Walmart, all of them. As we said,
we're gonna see. As we're recording this, CollectorCon begins tomorrow.
Right. I thought it was weird they overlap.
Yeah, we'll see what a colossal train wreck that's going to be.
Maybe that's why
Target threw them some money to be like, make us look good for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Take our heat.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Unless you guys have any final thoughts about that, we'll move on to the next dramatic subject.
Be anything more offensive and dramatic than, collectors being in their basement, in their mother's basement. there's not a possible thing that could be more upsetting than this or that.
Todd McFarlane thinks lady figures make you a serial killer. Is that
News at
similar?
11.
So, for anyone who somehow also didn't see this, Todd McFarlane did an interview with Shartimus, and they talked about a lot of things, but the key takeaway by the end of it, he was asked about the lack of female figures in the line. Because like we see one here and there, but it's not anything crazy, which for the largest or best-selling line of 2021, you think that they could afford to, expand out, especially considering they don't get a chance to do a lot of reuse except for their weird like repainted gold and silver and bronze stuff. So you would think that if they don't care about cost, they take those risks. And the long and short of it with Todd is he from a business standpoint, he doesn't feel that they will sell well, because his explanation got taken kind of out of context. People took it as he was saying that if you buy female figures, you're gonna become a serial killer. But his explanation was that, let's say you're a kid, you get all A's on your report cards all year, and your dad's gonna go to the store to get you an action figure.
Yeah, already Todd is not understanding his audience. But
yeah,
go ahead, Jarmar.
Well, yeah, two things. One, he knows that they're adults buying this, right? We already got the example from NECA and Target that it's, adults in their mother's basement who's buying these figures. So, like, I get it. But also, this is my first go at raising a child, so I don't know, like, what I'll do and how I'll reward my child for doing things the right way. But who buys their child a toy, one single toy, for a year of straight A's?
Right.
I was like, wait, what is?
First off, the new generations are way more spoiled than we were,
right.
And I got something every report card if I got good grades. So I'm just like, what the fuck?
I brushed my teeth this morning. Here goes a toy. I feel like that's more of the situation. But yeah,
you managed to pee in the potty. Here's a Racer Crest.
$20.
Yeah. I just,
also, though, if this is all true, and we have no reason to think that it is, the kid wants a toy and wants a McFarlane figure. He wants Batman.
Right.
And if you, as a father, can't tell the difference between Batman and Wonder Woman, then it's not Todd's fault. Yeah. It's not collector's fault. It's not even Target's fault at this point. Like, really, dude? Like, even Batgirl, like, you look at a Batgirl and you're like, all right, bat ears, we're good, okay, all right. Okay. Lipstick, that's weird for Batman, but let's move on. Oh, okay. Oh, this Batman's a little slender than the other one. Interesting. Then the peck armor is a little more, and it's weird that he's wearing purple. But you know what? I'm gonna roll with it.
It also says Batgirl on the box.
Yeah.
Like, how did you mess this up, Dad?
Who this is?
So
yeah, I told you to get me Batman. The chances of them accidentally buying a Nightwing is slim because it says Nightwing on the box. He looks kind of like Batman if Batman was sexier and didn't wear a helmet. Yeah. I mean, I'm at a loss. Please continue.
Okay. So to also give you an idea of how out of touch Todd is, in this scenario, it's implying that all of his other figures are sold out and that the women are peg warmers and it's the only thing that he'd have on the shelf. Implied, not said directly, because so back to the story he explained. You're a kid, you got straight A's all year, dad goes to Walmart to get you a toy. He comes home with a female action figure. Not a female superhero. Let's specify this. He mentions superhero multiple times, but only in the context of men, not as the female figure. So then he goes into the persona of the child and says, "Oh, this is great, Dad, but Did they not have any robots? No, they had robots. Oh, did they have aliens? Oh yeah, they had aliens. Did they have any like soldiers, army men? Oh yeah, they had all that. They had superheroes. It's like, oh yeah, they had those too. Okay. Then why did you get me this? So in his explanation essentially is that if he makes female action figures, they are going to be peg warmers, and no one's going to buy them because every other company is going to have better things to offer. For kids, mind you. Sticking with that whole analogy, despite the fact that he has to acknowledge regularly when people who are in their 30s and 40s bitch about the side-eye problem of his action figure line. But apparently that's just little Timmy who's just like, why is Batman always looking to the left? So that already was questionable, but do you want to add something before I get into the real fucked up part of this?
No, I'm just doing side-eye.
Oh, okay. So then he basically says that this kid, he makes a joke about, like, that I don't want to, make labels or anything, but serial killers start somewhere. And which people took as him saying that female action figures turn you a serial killer. I think what he meant is that the kid's going to kill his parents because they bought him a girl toy instead of buying him a cool army man or superhero or alien. And then he also went on a rant about, like, the boy toy aisle versus the girl toy aisle. You don't go to the boy toy aisle or action figure aisle or action figure because he can't fucking pronounce his words.
He's Canadian. Leave him alone.
Aisle to get a girl toy. Like, so he's made this very divisive line that one of his main, retailers has adamantly said no longer exists, despite the fact that the aisles are still divided, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, so he implies this kid's gonna kill his parents for buying him a girl toy. He then complains that girl toys should not be in the boy action figure aisle. And then he also thinks that his core demographic is 10-year-olds. So
yeah, man, every time, like, I get multiple people have gotten on me about my McFarlane slamming here, but come on, man. In 2022, this is still one, that's the attitude that we're going to have. But also, okay, he's had a couple of female peg warmers. Wonder Woman from the movie, because there was a ton of those gold armor ones, and also, nobody liked that movie.
I said the movie wasn't good, so that's not the action figure's fault.
But the other ones disappeared.
Mm-hmm. That's because that one could be used as your Snyderverse.
Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because then he, conspicuously didn't re-release her or whatever for the Justice League. There was a recent Harley Quinn that came out, and that movie didn't do huge business, but I've still never seen that figure on retail shelves.
I've only seen like one or two, because the only peg warmer from that line really was Cena, specifically unmasked Cena's stunt double.
No. I don't even mean the Suicide Squad one, because that one I did see in the store.
Oh.
I'm talking about the Birds of Prey one.
Oh, I hadn't seen that one, so I completely forgot it existed.
Yeah, it came out. It came out maybe a month or two ago. Never seen it on the shelf.
Huh.
But even the movie one, it moved.
Yeah, like, it's sold better than all the male figures in that line,
with the exception of Polka Dot Man. He's a tough one to find now.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, true. He was probably the one.
That might be for the King Shark parts. I don't know, but either way, all you can find, and I think it might be because of the exclusivity on other things, but all you can find is Peacemaker and Idris Elba, whose name I'm not going to remember.
Right. Every other week we have to tell you his name.
I know it's Idris Elba. That's good enough for me.
Wait, we said it wrong.
Yep.
We said Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. It's Bloodsport.
Yeah. See, you didn't even know.
But I really liked the movie, and I liked his character, but the figure just sucks.
Is one of the Wonder Womans, the real beefy one with the mohawk?
Oh yeah, I remember
that one. Yeah, that one was from the Last Night on Earth line with the Build-A-Figure Bane.
Yeah, all of those kind of sat around though.
Well, that was
They were
because it was
that-
well stocked.
Okay.
Like my
Either
Target
way,
doesn't get a lot of the McFarlane like restocks. They got 5 restocks of that line.
Yeah. Either way, like GameStop was selling them for like $8
Mm-hmm.
at one point. You know,
It's 'cause the build
so
figures sucked.
and that was okay, and that's a big part of it then too. If you don't want the build a figure, you're not going to sell all the ones.
Mhm.
And I mean, come on, that's all. Ugly Wonder. It's just an ugly figure. I don't even mean it from a point of view. It's a bulky, just badly.
The
looking
articulated
figure.
like shit. Like it was.
Yeah, it was just a bad figure.
You can watch my review on the channel.
He comes from the era of the '90s when the female figures were the hottest selling ones in his lines. Things like Angela and the other, different angels and stuff that would be put into the line after Angela was no longer his. So I don't know. I don't know that I understand where he's coming from. Maybe he's got some. I mean, he knows better than we do whether or not it sells or doesn't sell. But I also don't think he's really giving it a chance.
So
Because he only has put out so many. I mean, like Batgirl, Wonder Woman. What else has there been?
So the
Maybe
one you're missing,
or Harley.
I think, is the one he's using as this example of what it doesn't sell well. That is the Batman who drowned.
Oh, okay, yes.
But that was not because of the figure. The figure is fantastic looking. It's beautiful. The problem is with the Dark Knight's metal figures, instead of releasing them in a set, so you get a case of 6 per store, he released them individually or in pairs of 2. That one was released individually, so Walmart's got cases of 6 over and over of that figure.
Well, and I also have to wonder, so we will say that maybe, no figure sells better than a Batman, okay? So if a retailer is getting information and they're seeing the Batman who drowned, they're not seeing that it's... I don't even know what character it is.
It's a female version of Batman that I believe kills Aquaman and takes his trident and becomes Queen of Atlantis.
Okay, so but that's not Batman. In all intents and purposes,
is a version of Bruce Wayne in the multiverse.
But is this
to that fictional 10-year-old?
Yes,
that is not Batman.
Also,
so,
how does this 10-year-old know about Dark Knight Metal?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they should not be reading Dark Knight's Metal.
But I would say that then falls on the retailers a little bit because they probably ordered heavily on that because it has Batman in the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, this figure doesn't really look like Batman at all. Like she didn't have. I don't think she has the pointy ears or anything. She literally looks like a really cool ass pirate covered in like who's dead and covered in like barnacles and shit. So it's not like she is running around in a cape and bad ears with a trident. She literally looks just like a cool ass pirate. But that I think is his sole reason to thinking female figures don't sell. Is because
I think that Wonder Woman movie fiasco probably doesn't help.
Yeah, that probably didn't help either. But considering how well Wonder Woman herself sold, it was just the gold armor that no one wanted because the movie wasn't good. I feel like at that point you have to kind of look at the writing on the wall and say, okay, the movie was not well received. Her character is loved from her old movie and from the Snyderverse Justice League movies. Clearly, it wasn't the figure's fault. Because even then, like if you saw that gold armored Wonder Woman, it wasn't a bad figure. It's just unless you wanted a stand-in for the Kingdom Come Wonder Woman, or you someone who actually enjoyed the movie, you're not going to buy it.
I bought it before I saw the movie because I still have never seen the movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, everybody told me it was bad, so I didn't like it.
I tried so hard to like it too. I really wanted to like it.
It's a bummer because I liked the first one a lot.
I loved the first one, and then I all the trailers for the second one looked so good, and boy did it shit the bed. Yeah, I didn't see it, so
I feel like we're better off because of that.
I
know we don't really have to like go into this. I just wanted to be said too, like it was busy when I heard like the clip and everything. So like my initial thought though was, boy, that's such a poor take in 2022, right? especially from the aspect of like I'm all for like not forcing someone's opinion or your opinion on someone else or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be kind of, I kind of feel like the responsibility of like the people who create, you know, comics and people who create movies and like all these different things to portray more people of color, more women, more whatever, you know what I mean? Like to have that so every kid could like get introduced in an earlier age and maybe
Mm.
more acceptance and the whole world would just be so great. But this is
Oh,
the kind of
but then you have
thinking.
all those white dudes that are like, it's too woke.
Well,
It's too woke.
that's the thing is
The woke
that's the
ass
thing that
Batman.
really bugs me. Like I know
It's too woke.
it's trust me, I'm like there's certain things that are almost too woke for me, right? And that's weird for me to say as a black guy, right? I guess I don't know. This world's confusing, but I would just think of it as an aspect of having more women superheroes or figures or whatever he wants to call it. I feel like if you put that out there, then it will be in turn like received. I think it's the responsibility of a parent as well to not just put a kid in a box of like, this is what you want. I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving you all the army men because you're a boy and you're a man and you're gonna shoot guns. Like, I'm sure people do that. And not everyone has that same opinion or thought, but like having that as like an excuse to not make it. I know at the end of the day it's all about dollars and cents, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just that to me is really what bugs me about like his comments of not even like the serial killer thing. It's just the idea that giving your kid a girl figure is a disappointment for
Mm-hmm.
the kid. That's just like a huge assumption right there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like oh yeah, we're still there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of sad.
So
That's where it really bugs me.
To jump off your point about, you know, the comic, like the owner of the IP stepping in, it also kind of says something because they will go out of their way to ban everybody who makes product of their IP to not allow guns or gun-like weapons. But then they aren't going to be like, oh, you need to have more females in the line, you need to have more people of color in the line, which females easier to do. People of color not so much, because DC tries, but they you gotta actually have the characters, and they actually have to be able to see their faces, because they made Batman a black guy and they covered his entire face. So
I still like that figure though.
Oh yeah, it's a cool ass figure, but it's just like you never know that it was a black guy under there unless you read the book. And it's still like the worst joke ever, but I still like as soon as they did that, they're like, oh yeah, he has to cover his face so the GCPD doesn't try to shoot him. And I'm like, that's so wrong.
I think we made this joke, and like I'm so like, God, I really need to read more of this, because I'm hoping they like, you know,
I hope they explain why they covered his face, because that's the only logical reason I can think of why he would need to do that, is so that way they don't realize, oh, it's not some white dude under there anymore. Like it's very odd choice to just be like, oh yeah, he covers his mouth now.
They're being honest, man. They're being honest. We all know. But yeah, that is the most upsetting thing, is that like I want like my son to grow up and have all kind of like interest in. It doesn't have to be like, you know, one specific thing. It can be, you know, whatever. It's just silly. It's just really silly. I mean, everyone knows that, but
well, you know where you can put your money to be able to get all that representation regularly? Marvel Legends,
which they make a lot.
Yeah,
they have a lot of
very
figures
sweating.
McFarlane or Marvel doesn't seem to have a hard time selling
exactly
most female figures. Now there's some, like the overabundance of Captain Marvels that we had. I mean, it was a ridiculous amount.
Well, that was because they had a wave that had like 4 of them.
Yeah,
you don't need 4 different versions of Captain Marvel.
Right. And you know, maybe making Squirrel Girl a deluxe package that, you know, shipped in cases on her own maybe wasn't the best idea. But also remember the fact that it's not because she's a girl, because it's Squirrel Girl, and that's a pretty niche character.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, she has her fan base, but it's not like she's gonna sell as well as the Punisher on his motorcycle, to where she needed to be that, like, It was a cool idea
like
to.
a Vespa, right?
Yeah, she came with her little Vespa and stuff, which it was a cool set, really cool set.
Cool, yeah.
If I was a fan of Squirrel Girl, I'd be like fucking ecstatic.
Try finding, I just forgot all of them. Oh, like a Captain Carter. What if?
Yeah.
Try finding a Scarlet Witch from the other.
Trust me,
Disney Plus.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, even the Black
Sylvie,
Widows.
I haven't really seen like her much.
No,
at all.
Sylvie's not. Yeah, Spider Gwen. Gwen Poole. She was easy to find because she's a terrible character.
And also she wasn't she a Walgreens exclusive, or she was an exclusive to somewhere, wasn't she?
No, she was in the regular main line.
Okay,
and she did peg Worm quite badly, but that's just because she's a character from covers, from what I understand. I don't even think she was a real character.
No, she has her own comic.
So now, but didn't the whole part of where she came from kind of came from like just doing like she was just on covers?
She was at first. By the time the figure came out, she had her own comic.
But that's a pretty forced.
It's still a very like again like that's a subcategory.
Storms are gonna sell.
Rogue, Retro Rogue was one of the hardest figures in the line to find for a while.
Well, Retro Rogue was because unfortunately her original release was a huge peg warmer, shelf warmer that went up in like astronomical amounts later on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Marvel Legends has diversity across the board. So McFarlane, maybe you should. They even started making like Lady Transformers because there really wasn't any. They made more, as many as they could. So, that's a line that they did not have to make anymore, and they did. So,
yeah. Also, I just like to add, because if it's all about dollars and cents, if he thinks that his main like demographic is boys from like 10 to obviously 50, I guess. What isn't there an untapped market of like young girls who don't have like a figure?
They've got the doll aisle.
Yeah, but so how crazy would it be to market some cool action figures to girls?
Right.
Even if you can get like 20%, that's still that's more than 0%, according to his math, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like girl lines.
Right. That kid's gonna grow up 30 years later, or and be like, man, I really wish I didn't have to go on eBay or find these She-Ra toys for so expensive.
Right?
But it just had McFarlane making them for me as a child.
I was trying to look around my weekly purchases and be like, do I have any girl figures this week? I'm like, fuck, I don't. So I can't, and I don't want to dig through my miscellaneous shelf because I think I have a couple over there. Because I have like Wanda and
NECA. We're looking at you. Better make a Venus figure. Or
oh
Jenica.
My god.
Or
Jenica. You might have luck with Jenica. I don't think you're getting a Venus anytime soon.
I don't know. They're introducing Venus into something.
Yeah, she's coming back in the comics, but she looks real fucking weird.
Yeah, but she's coming.
Yeah.
Look out. Look out.
But that would require them to make an IDW line, and that's just our weekly sadness.
I'm just saying. We're getting Last Ronin. It gives me hope.
Hell,
I'll settle for a set of Last Ronin fucking turtles.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wait, what? You want a set of Last Ronin turtles?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just one.
Oh, you mean
no? Because they do the flashbacks in every issue.
I know. Are we trying? I was like, yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying. Could I get a figure of April missing the arm and the leg? It's too much spoiler territory. All right, I quit.
That book's been out for like at least that portion of the book has been out for a year.
It's what is it, like 3 issues available?
No, they're on issue like 5 or 6 now.
Oh no, they're not.
Yeah, they are. I have 4 issues over in my stack right now, and I've got at least 1 waiting for me at the comic book shop.
Oh, I feel like it's every 7 months they do a new issue.
It's been going on since the beginning of the pandemic, so it's been 2 years. So that's almost accurate. But yeah, because I'm pretty sure they did the 4 with the backstories explaining how.
Well, my point is, what if someone's waiting for all of them to come out to read it, and we're spoiling it? That's what I'm saying. Sorry.
It's all good. I won't remember.
Yeah, you can't remember fucking Bloodsport's name every week. So
I
he ain't
thought
gonna
you said it wrong again.
I almost did it on purpose, but I was like, no, I'm gonna say it right this time.
Yeah.
I'll just call him blood, sugar, sex, magic.
Come on, his name should just been Idris. Like that's all we really needed.
Yeah.
That's you get the point.
Yeah, because he dropped the Elba. Mm.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah,
let us know in the comments below what your thoughts on all of this lovely drama is. Let us know if you were offended by Canuck Collector, if you're understanding that it's not NECA's fault, what you think. Also, let us know what you think of Todd and his no girls allowed policy. Are you with him in the treehouse?
E-man woman haters.
Let us know, if you're in the treehouse with him with the no girls allowed sign, or if you would like to have Wonder Woman's, Batgirl's, fucking
we got Catwoman.
Spoiler, an actual Catwoman that isn't from the movie. Like there's so many options just from the Batman universe.
Power Girl, Huntress, Spoiler, Starfire, Wonder Girl.
Oh, Starfire would be so cool, especially if you did like translucent like red hair. Oh.
Yeah, Raven.
Oh, Raven.
Did we ever get the Titan? We never got a Teen Titan.
No, they never finished that line. He fucking made Cyborg and never fucking did another single one. And I'm so glad I didn't buy it, because I was like, I should buy this, because the second I don't, he's going to make the rest of these motherfuckers, and then I'm not going to have Cyborg. And they didn't make any of them. I'm like, well, good. Fuck you too, Todd.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let me know in the comments if you're pissed off at Todd McFarlane for not making the rest of the Teen Titans line. Let me know what a piece of shit Todd McFarlane is.
Probably because there's too many girls in it.
True. Yeah, I mean, a third of the team is girls. So.
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know.
He was he was all fuck. If I make this Robin figure, then I gotta make that Raven and that Starfire figure too, and those won't sell because they're not in the girl aisle.
Has he been to a store? I mean, I guess it's true.
Let's be honest. He doesn't have to go to a store because he literally makes these lines because he's making action figures for himself. Watch his live videos. It's always him playing in his office while all the people around him are trying to get work done, and he's pestering them.
Lady Spawn.
Like he literally went in.
Yeah, they already have one. She's Spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, there is She Spawn.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? Okay. She sold better than Redeemer, Raven, and Gunslinger.
Wait, she was in that line?
She's in the current line that's at Target. Yeah.
Oh my god. Maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah. She even came in a bigger pack with guns, like just like a fucking bunch of guns and shit. So like,
you should look at those guns, because maybe Todd's trying to tell us something with those guns.
Well, so that's one thing also before we close out. It's not really relevant to the drama, but he was asked about making gun packs, and he did kind of allude that he plans to make Spawn guns in packs that may just happen to be able to work with your DC figures.
Ooh.
So while he's out of touch with a lot of things, he at least is going to try to work around the bullshit at Warner Brothers.
I'm going to stock up on those.
Yeah, it's a smart move. But that is going to be it for this week's episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. Check out Wednesday night weekly purchases, twitch.tv/Modern Toy Fair. We're actually about to go, we're a minute late. We're about to go live here in a few minutes, which, I mean, for you would be a few days ago, so go watch it on video on demand.
Yeah!
Check out Jarmar, twitch.tv/Jarmar_games, where he occasionally streams. Probably going to start streaming some Fork Knife here soon.
Maybe Elden Ring.
Or Elden Ring, apparently. He's gonna let you watch him rage quit. Oh, and Nate left. Hello. Make sure also to check out Why You're a Gamer on all major podcast platforms, along with the audio-only version of Modern Toy Fair and Toy Therapy. Nate, assuming that you're not currently taking a shit, what you got for this week?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to do all this. I was starting to get all my stuff for Wednesday night.
We haven't finished the episode yet. We have to do this.
Yeah, I know. But I will come back to tell you guys all about my new podcast. So it is called Big Bang's Theorem. And what it is that we looked at an episode of the Big Bang Theory and then a corresponding gangbang movie from, adult cinema. And we look at them together and how they tell the same story, just in their different mediums. So it's going to be exciting.
The big gangbang theory. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, hopefully we'll see you next week. Same
Oh,
toy.
that's a way better title than mine. I said the Bang Theorem. You said the
I know.
Gangbang Theory.
Yeah,
It was way better.
you're
Thanks, man.
welcome. We'll see you same Toy Fair channel. I lost it. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.